Okay, so TV shows this week. We have an interesting lineup here. We have a Castlevania announcement that probably is not going to sit well with the community at large. We also have a series coming from a franchise that I loved as a kid and questionably so as an adult. And then also Jerry Seinfeld has been teasing some things, and we're going to talk about that as well. Welcome, nerds, to the TV news. That's a little ambiguous, don't you think? This is a clip that is taken from the larger Week in Nerddom that gets posted up on the main YouTube channel at Generally Nerdy, or youtube.com/Generally Nerdy, however you have to go about it. This section of the news, we're talking about TV shows and episodic shows on streaming networks. I'm still working out a way to say that isn't such a mouthful. Either way, it's going to be TV shows, right? That's how this works. So let's just get into it, shall we? So, follow-ups and corrections to start off the section proper. We have the SAG-AFTRA strikes. This is part of the reason why today's episode is coming late, is because I was waiting for more announcements, because today was going to be the next day of the negotiations for the SAG-AFTRA strike. And we're not talking about any updates from today because they didn't announce anything before I had to go to film before, I wouldn't have been able to get it up even before midnight tonight. So, so SAG-AFTRA, they are still in negotiations. It sounds like the negotiations, was it Monday was the last day that they had negotiations before today, and they went fairly well, it seems. No details have been released as to exactly what that means, but it sounds like there are some things that are being negotiated and working out. So it does seem that the SAG-AFTRA strike is going to be coming to an end, hopefully sometime soon. Exactly when, we don't know. It could be tonight as I'm filming. It could be a week from now. It could be a month from now. The negotiations could fall apart and they could be on strike for another year. As we learn these things, we will be talking about them here on the show. But that is all we have now, just hopeful. So let's move on. From there, we have Castlevania Nocturne. This is the big one, the big follow-up at least. So season 2 has been announced because enough people hate watched season. This is the same thing that happened with Velma, in a way. I have yet to watch Castlevania Nocturne. I really dug the first one. It sounds like there's going to be a little bit of He-Man style bait and switch with this one. So, The original series, though, did get, I believe it was it 5 or 7 seasons, somewhere in that neighborhood. So it's not out of the question that this one could just be picking up some of the popularity of the first one. And if it goes past season 3, then that means they might have something on their hands that's doing them some good. Or they just really like the social political message that it's pushing. Who knows? But a second season has been announced for Castlevania Nocturne because enough people hate watch it, apparently. I don't know. Well, I reserve the right to make that judgment in the That Just Happened show once I have actually watched the show. So from there, let's talk about Blade Runner 2099 is our final follow-up piece for this week. The series that was going into production and then the strikes happened is still going into production, just not in the exact same way as originally announced. The big thing here is that it is no longer going to be filming in Belfast, Ireland. No exact reason as to why was given when they made the announcement. The production was set to begin next week, and they announced the beginning of this week that they are not going to be filming in Ireland, which means there's going to be a lot of Irish people in the movie industry who live in Belfast who are just basically out of a job and they don't know why. Which really sucks, and I wish that is not the way the industry was run, but it is what it is. And no announcement as to where they are going to be filming this. So presumably somewhere in Hollywood, I would guess. I don't know. But yeah, 2099 is still happening. It's a live action series, if you don't remember, based on the Blade Runner franchise, obviously. And yeah, that's all we got for follow-ups and corrections. Let's move now.
Hey nerds. So, Nerdagon, one more time. Just reminding you that your subscription really goes a long way. Also, you know, if you like this, the thumbs up goes pretty far too. But really, we're just doing the subscription drive right now, so be sure to push that subscribe button if you're on the YouTubes and really any other platform you follow us on, because, you know, we like doing this, and so we want to come back. So the best way to do that is if you're here to come back too. So we love you, and yeah, let's get back to the news, I guess. Bye.
Into some regular ass news. Apparently we don't have any trailers for stuff, which I find odd actually, but I guess I didn't see anything in the research mode. So here we are talking about regular ass news. First up, Garbage Pail Kids. This is one that I loved as a child so very much, and I watched the live action movie as an adult not that long ago, and I immediately texted my mother and apologized because I made her watch that thing like once a week for a year. But David Gordon Green, who did the Halloween reboot series, the newest Exorcist movie, Exorcist Believer, he has made it known that he and Danny McBride are working on the early stages of development for a series based on the Garbage Pail Kids franchise. I was unable to decipher if it was going to be oh no, I did actually. It's here in the notes. Hey look, I took good notes this time. Animated series based on the Garbage Pail Kids, and he said very explicitly that it's going to be quote unquote naughty, whatever the hell that means. I mean, it is the Garbage Pail Kids, so it's kind of a broad definition of the word. So I'm intrigued. I'm not gonna lie. I'm intrigued by this one. From there, let's talk more cyberpunk. Cyberpunk 2077 this time, not Blade Runner, which we were talking about a minute ago. Cyberpunk 2077, there is a live action project that is early stages of development. So early, in fact, that CD Projekt Red has not said if it is going to be a proper series or a movie. We're talking about it here because the movie section is kind of full. But it seems fairly likely that they would try to do like a short series to kind of test the waters with their abilities to do something like that and not feel too much like a Blade Runner retread. So yeah, that just makes the most sense. But yeah, CD Projekt Red has announced officially that they are in the early stages of development for some sort of live action adaptation of their IP, Cyberpunk 2077. And then our final piece of regular ass news is Jerry freaking Seinfeld has been teasing at stand-up gigs, specifically most recently at a Boston stand-up gig about a week or so ago, that we might be seeing some sort of reunion with the cast of his incredibly famous sitcom. He has said previously that if such a thing happens, it's going to happen organically, and it's probably not going to be like a reunion series. And it's also probably not going to be much like any of the reunion stuff we've seen recently, like the Friends reunion or anything like that. So what exactly this could be still remains to be seen, but he has been teasing that something is coming down the pipe, and we will be keeping tabs on that, you can guarantee. From there, we only have suggestions left for this episode, and TV suggestion this week, American Horror Story. Not the current season, I'm still kind of, the jury's out on that one, but Freak Show, I believe it was season 5, is by and large my favorite season of American Horror Story. It is freaking fantastic and very much Halloween themed. Go watch season 5 of American Horror Story, the Freak Show season. I could be wrong with the numbering, but either way, just the sideshow freaks and like just the Jessica Lange singing Man from Mars, and there's just so much awesome and so much weird and so much greatness that went on. I think that was right before it really started to take this weird downturn. Either way, good stuff. Go watch American Horror Story Freak Show. Once again, nerds, this has been the TV and streaming news for the week, taken from the main show, The Week in Nerddom, which is posted on the main channel, youtube.com/generallynerdy. Thank you for joining me here, nerds. Before we go, always remember that if it's generally nerdy, it's probably here.